What's good, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. If you're new, what it do? I'm super excited to be back on YouTube, and this is my very first voiceover. So testing 1 2 3. Everybody can hear me? All right, well, let's get straight into this leg and booty building workout for beginners. I'm going to be sure to explain what muscles that each exercise works and also the proper form to use when completing the exercise. So without further ado, let's get straight into it. So first, I'm just warming up on the elliptical machine here. It's really important to get your heart rate up and increase the blood flow to your muscles. This will also help to prevent any serious injuries when working out. Don't be that person that busts a kneecap because you couldn't take at least 5 minutes to warm up. Just always remember not to go in cold turkey. You can get on the bike, elliptical, or the treadmill for about 5 to 10 minutes. I usually do 5 because I just be trying to get straight into it. But don't rush your warm up. Always be sure that your muscles feel warm and ready to go. So for the next part of the workout, we're going to do some glute activation exercises, which is very important if you want to grow those cheeks. When you hear the words glute activation, it basically means you got to get those glutes fired up before any type of leg day exercises. If you work a desk job and you sit at a desk for hours on end, then your glutes have most likely become pretty inactive, and those 5 minutes of throwing it back on your man every night might not be enough to wake them up. So as a solution, we have glute activation. I highly recommend buying a resistance band if you don't have one already. Also great for using at home. So even if you're not ready to hit the gym just yet, this is the number one piece of equipment that you should be using at home for leg and glute exercises. So for the first exercise here, I am doing crab walks side to side. Try and crouch down as low as comfortably possible and move side to side using your gluteus medius. Also keep your back as straight upward as possible. Try not to lean too forward, and also make sure that your knees aren't going too much over your toes, so you should be in a squatting position. For this exercise, I completed 3 sets of 12. So for the next exercise, I am doing pulse squats. You can choose to do pulse or regular squats. I just decided to do pulse so that I could stay inside of the camera frame. I also decided to add a weighted ball for a bit more resistance, but you can definitely do these without it, no problem. For these, it's just important to keep the band on because for a squat, you'll notice that the band is what really helps you to engage your glutes. One more thing with this exercise, try not to let your knees cave in too much. It can cause an injury. If you notice the band is way too hard, then go ahead and take it off. But if it adds just enough resistance, it should help a lot with your knee strength and mobility. Next, we're going to grab a mat, get on all fours, and do fire hydrants. These work the same muscles as the crab walks, which is the side booty. You're going to have one knee planted to the ground and the other one will come straight up to the side. Be sure that your back remains neutral, and I personally like to have one hand on the mat and one hand off because I'm able to balance a lot better. But it's really good to play around with what hand placement works best for you so that you can really feel the mind to muscle connection while still doing the exercise correctly. So for our last glute activation exercise, we're going to do donkey kicks. The most important tip here is to keep your back as neutral as possible when doing these. I see so many people arching their back during that kick up and hunching over on the come down. This is incorrect and can cause unnecessary back pain. This is not a back exercise. Don't try to arch your back to look cute. Just kick straight out and upwards to feel it in your glutes. If you have a hard time not bending your back at the top of that kick, then I recommend kicking more out like I do versus straight upwards. This way I'm still able to feel it in my glutes. Okay, so for our first machine, we have the glute kickback machine. We're going to be working the same muscle that we did with the donkey kicks, just adding a little weight. If you notice, I didn't use the resistance band when doing the donkey kicks on the floor because it always rolls up. It's super annoying. So this is a better way to really up your kickbacks without the hassle. Same with this machine, you're going to keep your back as neutral as possible. Try not to arch. And here I'll be doing 3 sets of 12. Alright, so can y'all guess what we'll be working next? That's right, more booty. We'll be on the hip abductor machine, back to the side booty. So when I do these, I like to lean up a bit off of the seat because you engage your glutes more when you're not leaning all the way in the back of the chair. I do like to switch between putting my hands either on the handles or holding my waist, but I still make sure that my glutes are doing 100% of the work. For this machine, I wanted to be a little bit more creative, so I decided to do a drop set. I went from heavy to light in weight, starting at 10, 8, 6, 4, 2, and then 1 rep. So for example, at 60 pounds, I did 10 reps. At 50 pounds, I did 8 reps, and so on and so forth. This helps to trick the muscle because after so long of doing the same exercises the same exact way, your muscles can actually begin to stop responding to that exercise as efficiently just because it's remembered that pattern so well. So in order to keep excelling at an exercise you do often, it's great to switch it up, which is what we're doing here by performing a drop set. So next we have the leg press machine, which will work all of our leg muscles. I really wanted to get on the regular machine versus the one where you have to load the weight because I know this one can be a little intimidating starting off, but it's fine. It works perfectly fine, just similar. I'm going to show you some foot placements here. So if you put your feet further up, you're going to work your hamstrings. Put your feet further down, you're going to work your quads. And then if you stick your feet outwards a bit, you're going to work your glutes. Now the most common mistake I see on the leg press is when people are locking out their knees at the top of the exercise. This is incorrect and can be detrimental to your knees. So when you're using the leg press, always keep a slight bend in the knees, even at the top, to avoid injury, which is what I'm doing here. So next we have elevated heel squats, which I highly recommend if you want to improve your squat form. Grab a plate or find a slightly raised surface where you can comfortably place the heels of your feet. Next, either with or without weight, you'll want to go down into a squat and push back up using your heels. I know some people have issues using the balls of their foot when squatting, and so the elevation really gives you no other choice than to use your heels or else you'll fall over. Also, notice how it looks like I'm sitting back into a chair. This prevents your knees from going too far over your toes. Just practice this movement as many times as you need in order to perfect your squat. Next, we're going to do the most neglected leg muscle. Don't think I would skip over this one. We got calves. Calves, calves, lower part of your leg, that's what we're working. So using that same plate or raised surface, place your toes on the front and let the back portion of your foot hang off the side. Then use the ball of your foot to push up. I did 4 sets of 25, and yes, it did burn. So for the last 2 machines, I only recorded 1 set because my camera was definitely about to die, so I'm gonna rush through these. First, we have the leg extension, which is top tier for quad gains. Find a weight that's comfortable enough for your knees and push up using your quads. Your legs shouldn't be swinging, it should be a slow, controlled motion. And then last but not least, we have the leg curl machine for hamstrings. I really like the one where you lay on your stomach better, but we're gonna work with what we got. So here again, you wanna make sure that your movements are slow and controlled. Really get that mind to muscle connection with your hammies and glutes, and just try not to use your lower back. So that's all that I have for today's video. I hope this was very informative for you and motivated you to get started on your fitness journey, get those leg gains. Go ahead and subscribe if you're feeling the vibes, because I definitely have more workout content on the way.